at one point, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, you start making money. Everything is good. You're very careful with your share size. You're approaching the market modestly. You'll notice you start lowering your share size. The day is going good. Everything is green. Flip side, you come in the morning. You start trading. You start losing money. You take another loss. It's time to increase your share size or your option contract size. You increase it. It works or it doesn't work. Doesn't work. You're blowing out. It works a little. You make a little bit of money, you try it again. That time it fails and you lose even more. Before you know it, you actually tilted. We're going to talk about how I came back from a $10,000 loss today and finished the day green. We're going to talk about anti-tilting. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Thank you so much for reading our disclaimer in the beginning of the video. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to take much of your time tonight. I'm not here to pitch you. I'm not here with a phony smile, coming out with a credit card swiper telling you to, empty your pockets. I'm here to genuinely help you. If you're interested in anything we do, links in the description of the video if you're interested in T3's largest trading room. With that being said, let's move on from that. Let's move on from that. So, I was trading. It doesn't really matter, but I was trading a name. I mean, I guess I could show you. I mean, SJ, great name, on my list. Was looking for it to go long. Pulled down early. I'm fine. I wasn't buying it in the morning. And this is a 5 minute chart. And I was losing money on the way up. It's hard to see on the 5 minutes. So I'll show you on the 1 minute. And I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was actually approaching the day very modestly, like a couple thousand shares. But again, you know, there's these tails here which don't look like a lot, but the range between the top and bottom of this is literally 72 cents. So the stock has been putting in very, very wide ranges. Range over here was 90 cents in 60 seconds on a $15 name. So the volatility was obviously great. And there are a couple other names that I don't remember offhand, nor do I care to go through because that's not where the value is going to be derived from here. But I want to share with you my mentality of keeping it calm, keeping it cool, keeping it collected, and why the power of the Newsbeat live room really helped me today. It really helped me today and helped me really put things together and figure it out. And not everybody has more than one thing that works for them in the market. The problem is when with all these with traders is you feel like you have to be a jack of all trades when the truth is before you do anything you have to be an ace or a king of one trade. You have to be able to do one strategy effectively. If you throw that strategy in 10 times in a day, 5 times in a day, 20 times in a day, that same strategy 2 times in a day, you need to make money overall. And that's the key. So I feel you. But for me, there are more than one thing at this point in which I do well. And one of those things is news flow. Okay, that's one of the things I do really well. I would argue we have the best news flow in the business. We have people always, we have people posting news flow. People in the room. We have a broadcaster here with me who also shares news flow with me through audio. We have a moderator who posts all these things through alerts through the news flow, everything. We have it all set up in a way in which it was never set up before, thanks to the new technology here at T3. And why is it important that I'm telling you that? Because I want to explain to you the mentality. The whole basis of today's mentality is when you're down money, and God bless me, it wasn't that crazy for me. It was 10 grand. I was down 10 grand today, and I ended up the day green. The point is to not let one trade bring you back. You have to keep telling yourself that you're better off. You're better off doing 10 trades, 20 trades, than one or two trades to bring your money back. The problem is, psychologically speaking, is when you're in that situation, what happens to you, and I could describe the psychology of it, you're in so much pain that you want that pain to end as soon as possible. So a natural human thing to make yourself feel better would be to climb out of that hole as soon as possible. And I understand that. And that actually is the entire battle. I'm going to explain it to you and put it in a way in which hopefully you're going to absorb it because that's going to help pull you pull you out from where you are. That's going to help pull you out from where you are. Okay. Imagine this. Imagine you shoot 80% from the free throw line. Imagine you bat 80% as a trader. Imagine that for one moment. Okay. Imagine you bat, I'll make it even easier, 70% as a trader. Let's say you bat 70%. I know Wall Street lied to you and tell you to make 2 to 1 and bet 50-50 or 3 to 1 and bet 50-50, but we all know that's a lie and bullshit. We all know. We all know not because there's nobody out there who could do it. We know it's bullshit because 98, 99% of people can't do it. That's why it's bullshit. I could say, yeah, people could jump in the air, spin in the air, and dunk a ball and then stick out their tongue with one hand while they're like one hand like this and then dunk the ball like that, but we're not all LeBron James, right? So what I did at that point when I was down 10 grand, I want to start at that point. I don't want to start at how I got to negative 10 grand because I actually didn't tilt to get to that point. That was just normal trading for me to get to that point. Usually you have to do something really stupid to get to a point where you're down 10 grand. I didn't do something really stupid. I wasn't really tearing up. It was just some unfortunate losses back to back. And you'll see me like I highlight these things, and you're not going to see other gurus talk about their losses because it's too easy to just put wins in front of your face because they're trying to maintain an image, a false image, in front of your face that doesn't exist. So even though I make money practically every day, you won't hear me talk about any of my up days. You'll only hear me talk about, even though technically I had an up day, you'll hear me talk about the point of where I was down $10,000 today. So what I did at that point is pretend that you can trade 70% or better using Newsbeat strategies, right? Pretend. What would you rather have right now? One shot, you're down $10,000, right? You're down $10,000. What would you rather have? Would you rather have one shot batting 70% to make all your money back, or you'll lose all your money? Or would you rather have 20 shots with those same numbers? And hopefully your answer is 20 shots because you don't want to take a big trade and be down 20 grand. Granted, maybe odds are you'll make it back. But keep in mind, your odds are always decreased when you're in that psychological state because then you're just trying to make the trades work. All of a sudden, you take a big trade, even if you're up and you could reclaim 20% of your money, 25% of your money. Let's put yourself in my shoes. You're down 10 grand, you're up 2 grand on the trade. You don't want to sell out because you know if it goes a little higher, you'll just cover your 10 grand losses with one fell swoop and you'll feel better, right? Um or here's the thing though, like if you just simply, and by the way, my 70% example, there's several traders here who bat in the 80s, 90s, 70 isn't some mirror. If you're listening to me say 70%, who the hell does that? Like, welcome to the Newsbeat live room, okay? So let's say you're batting 70%. You have a 70% hit rate. You're down $10,000. What do you do? Well, if you want one shot and you'll be at $0 or let's call it -20 with a 70% chance, or you can have 20 shots and build your psychology and build your confidence back. This is why when people use mathematics in trading, there has to be some mathematician out there saying, it's completely irrelevant, Mr. Melnick, of which one you do if you're batting that hit rate mathematically. And that's why I love when people explain things mathematically, because they are so full of shit. It's like spewing out of their eardrums. You're talking to a math nerd here, just so we're clear, because math does not explain psychology. Math does not explain psychology. All right, so if you're taking 20 shots and you're batting 17, let's say instead of betting 10,000, so let's say you're doing a $10,000 bet, right? And on the $20, on the 20 shots, you're betting 500 at a time. You're betting 500 at a time, and on the one shot, you're betting $10,000 at once. I know it doesn't exactly work like that, but for the mathematical sake, the analogy will be analogically accurate to explain what I'm trying to teach you here to not tilt. So you'd be betting $500 per shot, and over here you'd be betting $10,000 per shot, right? Let's say, and let's say you have a 70% hit rate. So right over here, 70%, you're making it back, or you're going to be devastated. Over here on the 20 shots, let's say you did 20 shots, you hit 70%. Let's say you hit 14. Let's say you have 14 wins and 6 losses. Let's say, for example, 70% win, 30% losers. So at that point, you would be up $3,500. It would equal a $3,500 profit. And the more samples that you choose, the more consistent you'll be over time. If you don't believe me, it's called, there's a theory around flipping the penny. If you flip a penny 10 times, you might say odds are that you're going to flip 5 heads and 5 tails, but in actuality, it almost never happens. It almost never happens when you flip a coin 10 times. You don't usually do 5 heads, 5 tails. That is rarely the case, even though it's the most likely number. It would almost be like rolling rolling dice, and you have a 1 out of 6 chance of rolling a 7. You have the highest chance of rolling a 7 every single time. Odds are, if you roll the dice, you're not going to roll a 7. You understand? Odds are you're going to roll not a 7. Yes, you have a higher chance of rolling a 7 than a 6, than a 5, than a 4, than a 3, than a 2, than a 1. Well, you can't really roll a 1 with 2 dice, but you get the point. So over here, you're basically allowing yourself psychologically to take those losses, and you're actually able to get to the point where you're negative 6,500. And over here, you're either at 0 or, like I said, right on top, 0 or negative 20,000. Now, mathematically, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, oh my goodness, but it doesn't matter, because if you're down 10,000 100 times and you do this, it doesn't really matter which one you'll choose, but that is where you are wrong. You want to know how it feels to be down? I'll prove it to you. All right. All right. How do you feel if you go from negative $10,000 to negative $20,000? How do you feel? Awful, right? You feel horrible. You feel stupid, crapola. You broke your rules. You're starting to doubt yourself. Your psychology is down. Depression kicks in. Hopefully, God forbid, not any serious suicidal thoughts. You're questioning if you could even do this. A whole slew of shit comes about in which I and if you are a real trader can relate to. Okay? If you're down $10,000 and you finish the day down $6,500, how do you feel? Pretty damn good, actually. Like $1 million. Like you won something even though you lost money. Because that is how the human psychology works. You need to win more than you lose. The actual number, yes, if you lose your entire account, you can't trade, the number does matter. I get that. Standing aside from having the right amount of money to do your actual trading strategy, the number never really matters. You think it does, but it doesn't. And it all goes to Kahneman and Tversky's loss aversion principle. The loss aversion principle, which, you know, basically says that you can't bat 50-50 because the psychological toxicity is going to destroy you. It's going to destroy the way you act. And then you're going to break your rules and you're going to think that you were the problem when it was the actual strategy in the first place. You are not the problem. You are not the problem. The strategy in which you were doing, that was destroying your psychology. That was the actual problem. So, look, um, to make things real simple. So, how did I come back? I was approaching this mentality here. I knew I was good at certain strategies. I knew I was good at news flow, and I was patiently waiting for something to come up. And here's a 1 minute chart of Walmart. They said that they were going to IPO. Was that which cart? What is it called? That Indian company. Could look it up. It's called Flipkart. So there was news. There was news coming out of Bloomberg that Walmart's Flipkart aims for an IPO this year. So obviously that would be huge for Walmart. They apparently are going to be raising billions and billions of dollars. It's one of the big Indian companies out there, and they're going to actually take it public. So on that news, I was able to hit in some Walmart calls. Um, Made a nice chunk of money. I forgot 4 or 5 grand, and I felt like $1 million. You want to know the challenging part was what I didn't tell you is I was down this $10,000 around 10, 15 ish. I had to sit there and wait patiently for something to come up. And that is one of the beautiful things. That is one of the beautiful things about the Newsbeat Live Room. That I have a team of people around me always looking and trying to help each other for real opportunities. So the Walmart news came, and then there was also SGBX news, which, you know, I hit the shit out of. Right over here, got in right before it halted. Stock halted, $5 name. I think I was in from like 498, 499, right under $5. Let's call I was in for about $5. Had a little over 5,000 shares. Nothing crazy for a $5 name. Literally, stock opens up at 555. I'm up my 3 grand. Sold it. Sold it. Just like that. So what was the news on SGBX? Well, they tweeted, I kid you not, SG Blocks tweeted to Elon Musk, added Elon Musk inside the tweet, and literally talked about, I think, developing, what was it, Austin, Texas. So literally, if you're wondering what caused that, it was a tweet from the company saying, at Elon Musk, we know how much you love Austin, Texas. We're excited about our current project in Lago Vista, Texas. It sits about 45 minutes away from Austin and right on the waterfront Lake Travis. We're inspired by Austin's growth and will continue investing in the city. So everybody knows that Elon Musk was thinking, wanting to move the Tesla factory over to Austin. So this company, SG Blocks, went ahead and tweeted. We called it out with conviction. We were very, there was conviction behind it. It was the tonality of conviction that allow us to understand that this was potentially going to be a serious play. And the stock exploded. It literally opened up, you know, 10, 11% higher, whatever. Literally opened up 11% higher. So literally you buy in, you get stuck with it, you have no choice but to hold it, and it opens up 11% higher. And I just cleaned up. Not only that, I know the 2 minute strategy in which I shared with you publicly. We're doing the green takes, right? Excuse all my moving averages. I know my chart looks like, like a pack of Skittles. Um, you, the green takes red trades like this, like buying through here, trying to catch 50, 60 cents, buying, just catching just really nice moves in Tesla. Add everything I said together. I took some gains and losses in between there as well. And I was able to chop back my entire day and a little bit more. So the key is, I think the key lesson is, you should be able to have somebody who's always fighting to try to bring you something to the table. I think that's very important in trading. I say it all the time. If I wasn't running the Newsbeat live room, I would be a Newsbeat live member. Like, and the funny thing is, like, five, no, not five, but like, I would start saying 7 years ago. I've been broadcasting so figure I've been broadcasting 14 years. I would say half of them I would want to be part of my own service. The other half, there's no way in hell I would want to be part of my service. You want to know the truth? Most gurus would not sign up for their own service. Ask them behind the scenes. Trust me. You want to know what their answers are? You guys want to know? I'm not going to name drop. Do you guys want to know what their answers are? Why would I pay to listen to myself speak? Why would I pay to listen to myself speak? That's their answer. So, like, again, you know, there's so much value coming from the family of members from our service that I'm just humbled to be a part of it all. I really am. It's a humbling experience. It's humbling always to be able to fight for everyone and to fight for everybody's success and to try to keep a calm mentality and a calm in the room. We're all human beings, but if you're dealing with somebody who's excited at everything, like, oh, XYZ or oh, ABCD, oh, and they're like walking, coke addicts. They're like walking like, oh, I'm in a sugar rush, or ooh, somebody lit a firecracker under my ass. All of a sudden, I have a little zest in my step, and they're just like always excited. I'm telling you right now, that shit is going to destroy you in the long run. We're all humans. It all happens at times. I get it. I'm not saying it should happen 0 times, zero emotions. You should be a robot, like a machine, like a robot. Like, you don't want to follow that either. That's like, you don't want anybody with very low human emotional principles, which a lot of traders, a lot of gurus, a lot of broadcasters do because they're just so worn down by the market over the years that they just literally, they're very monotonous. Like, you'll meet them, they'll never smile. Like, you'll tell them like the funniest joke, like the funniest, like clean dad joke in the world. Sometimes it sounds even horrible. Sometimes it's like a little bit dark. You you know, you know. What runs faster, a hot or a cold? And you're like, well, what? And like, a hot. And you're like, why? It's like, because you can't catch a cold. Ha 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 ha. And then like they'll tell a joke at the like one of these other gurus will tell a joke at the party, and they'll be like, Mark, why did the girl fall off the swing? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know, why did the girl fall off the swing? Because she has no hands. I'm like, whoa, like that threw me off guard. And then it's like, then that same girl will be like, knock knock, and I'm like, already thrown off in the first joke. So I'm like, who's there? And he's like, not that girl. And I'm like, oh my god, this dude is this dude is rough. This dude is rough. That's that's brutal shit. So it's one of those things like, all right, yo, it's nice meeting you, bro. Is that my Peloton instructor appointment? It's like one of those things because just try to get out of there as soon as possible. But I'm telling you, the human element, the environment of calm, the low toxicity, the zero to low toxicity environment, that's how you come back from losses. You're sitting there in a cocaine fueled rush where everybody is pissing you off around you, and that person's pissing you off, and that person's pissing you off, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and you know you can't find the right place inside your head to come back from your losses, you're going to continue to struggle. So I hope I was able to enlighten you today. The key takeaway, your environment matters. Place yourself in an environment that is happy. Do not keep pictures, do not keep panties, do not keep toys, do not keep shirts of your exes around you. Do not keep those things. Those are bad reminders. Don't be friends with your ex-girlfriends on Facebook. Don't be friends with your ex-boyfriends on Facebook. This is not an episode of Friends where you have these four guys and four girls and everybody is swapping and effing with each other for a few months before the next one gets to F with them. And then sometimes they bring in a special guest who Fs with them. And then they cry in the shoulder of one of them. And then they get to, and everybody's just sleeping with each other. And it's a huge ongoing orgy and everybody loves each other. Please, please, that is not your life. That will psychologically destroy you. Please don't be one of the people who thinks it's really cool to do those things. And, you know, you see the actors and actresses doing it on TV, and everybody has absolutely no emotion. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's like wife swap, and, all these shows. Oh, like I watch Real Housewives of Orange County, and, I need to see a bunch of women yelling at each other, you know, based on shit that doesn't even matter in life. Like, don't get caught up with that mentality. Your environment matters, the way you think matters. Come back to your positive trading, small steps at a time. There's something to be said about a trader who digs themselves a hole with a shovel and tries to climb back out with a spoon. Does that sound familiar? You dig yourself a hole with a shovel, but you try to climb back out with a spoon. My point is, climb yourself a hole with a spoon and climb yourself out with a spoon. Okay. So going to be doing Q&A inside the Newsbeat live room, but I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you all tremendously. I hope you guys are having a good day, a good week. I hope trading's being kind to you. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat live trading.